we want to graph the equation 4x minus 3y is equal to 8. Now, technically, there are two different ways, if my equation is in this form, to graph something like this. I could use the intercepts, letting x be equal to 0. I'll find my y-intercept. But when I look at this right here, this will go away. This part right here would go away if x is equal to 0. So I would be left with negative 3y is equal to 8. Divide both sides by negative 3, and you get something that is not really very nice, a negative 8/3. So since they do not require us to use the intercepts, I'm going to do something different. We are solving for y. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing is I take my equation, and what I'm doing, I am subtracting 4x. Subtracting 4x from both sides. So I will have a negative 3y is equal to a negative 4x plus 8. All right, now the next step would be to simply divide both sides by negative 3. I divide by negative 3. I divide by negative 3 on the right. So I have y is equal to, well, this negative 3 in the denominator right here, this one, divides into the negative 4x, and it divides into the positive 8. So in other words, I'm going to have a negative 4x divided by negative 3 plus 8 divided by negative 3, if you want to look at it like this. And what is this when I simplify this? Negative 4 divided by negative 3, negative divided by negative, that would be a positive. And 8 divided by a negative 3, that's a negative 8/3. Plus a negative number is a negative number. And the front, the x, I will write it as a coefficient. Y is equal to 4/3 x minus 8/3. Now, this is what we call the slope-intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b. B being the y-intercept and m being the slope. And this is going to be the most interesting one for us. Whoop. So, what we are doing right now, we are not going to get around having to find negative 8/3 on the y-axis. I have my coordinate system. This is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. And I have this right here. That is my b, which is the y-intercept. So if I would put this somewhere in here, let's have a look. A negative 8/3. A negative 9/3 would be a negative 3. Let's say negative 3 is down here. This right here is a negative 2. So we don't have to be very accurate with this right here. Negative 8/3. Let's just say this number is going to be down here. That is my y-intercept. And now what I'm doing, I am using the 4/3 as my slope. M is equal to 4/3. Remember, M, that is rise over run, or better, the change in y divided by the change in x. So 4, and for us, this is 4/3. So both changes are positive. So what you are doing right now, you are just counting off. How many do I have to move up? Let's do it like this, because we can on this. I move 1, 2, 3, 4 up. This distance right here, now that we counted off, is exactly 4. And now I still have to move 3 to the left, to the right, positive. 1, 2, 3. So in other words, I have from here to there, this is 3. 4 over 3, I have my second point, and I have the line of y.